Want to get off the hook? Do you want to get off the hook about something? This is an idiom we talked about today in Supersize Your Business. Of course, getting off the hook if you're fishing. And if you've ever been fishing, I've been fishing a lot with my kids and with my family. And even with my dad when I was a little girl, we used to go fishing a lot. And you know, if you've ever been fishing, you're sitting in the boat or you're standing on shore, you're holding your little rod and reel, and you're jigging it. If you're fishing for walleye, which is what we fish for, you'd be jigging a little bit. And all of a sudden you'd feel a little tug on your line, and you'd set the hook, and you'd start reeling it in. You'd reel, and you'd be all excited. And once in a while you get a glimpse of that little fish poking its little head or its little flipping out of the water trying to get off that hook, and then you get it right up to the boat. You're reeling and reeling and reeling, and you yell, "Get the net! Get the net! Get the net!" And somebody gets the net, and they go to scoop it in, and right as you lift your rod to have the fish get scooped into the net, boom, it gets off and it gets away. Your fish gets away. So you get off the hook. So how many times in our lives are we in situations that are distasteful or troublesome or stressful, or we're panicked, or we got caught and we're going to get punished for something and we want to get off the hook? I can think of hundreds, literally hundreds of times when I have been in situations that I felt like I was in trouble and I wanted to get off the hook. I've been in relationships that I wanted to get out of, and I wanted to get off the hook with that. Finally got divorced, so obviously sometimes we do get off the hook. I've been involved with business partners and had customers and had friendships and things where they change and they go south, or they don't work out as you had thought they would and planned in the beginning, and you want to get off the hook. I've had real estate deals like that. We've had so many things in our life, each and every one of us, experiences where we feel trapped and stuck and like we don't have any options, and we just want to get off the hook. We don't know what to do. So getting off the hook, it's actually super duper simple, right? Number one, you got to recognize you're on the hook, right? That you're hooked and you're in trouble, and you've got a challenge or a situation that you don't want to be in, that doesn't feel right for you. Number two, you have to decide that you want to make a change or have something different. You have to realize that you don't have to stay on the hook, right? You don't have to stay on the hook for anything or hardly anything in our lives. We really don't. It's a choice. It's always a choice. So decide that something has to change, and then take action toward making that change a reality. Open yourself up to the possibilities. There are always infinite possibilities, but so often when we're in a tough spot or a tough situation, which a lot of people are right now with the pandemic, with COVID-19, there's a lot of people in such a tight financial situation that they cannot see any alternative. They can't see any change. There are people that are in tough health situations and they can't see any alternative. They can't see any change. They think they're going to die. They're going to get the virus and they're going to die. Now, not true for most of us, right? The vast majority of us are never going to get the virus. We're certainly not going to die from it. It's definitely not the way I'm going. I've, been there, done that. Gonna try another way. Try something else. So, getting off the hook. Excuse me. I definitely have a tickly throat today. Getting off the hook. It's one of those things where, we commit to things that we're going to do and say, and we make commitments for ourselves. But a lot of times, the things that we're doing aren't things that we really ever committed to. They're just things we're doing because we think we should. We never committed to them. We just started doing them, and we go down this path. Have you ever done that? Where you go out, you do the whole life plan, and you never ask yourself, is this really what I want? Is this my life plan? I did that. I did that for decades. I went to school, got good grades, studied hard, worked hard, went to college, struggled, got good, then figured it out, got good grades, worked hard, got a good job, worked at the job. Each of my jobs I worked at for like almost 5 years. And I learned I have this pattern. We all have patterns that we don't necessarily recognize in ourselves. And I learned that my pattern is about 3 years. I go into a new job, I'm all super excited. This is my corporate pattern. It's also, interestingly enough, the same pattern I repeat with different businesses. And it's just learning about ourselves. So 3 years is my pattern. I go in, I'm super excited about a new opportunity or a new job. I get in there, I dig in, I figure it out. I figure out all of the processes and procedures and systems that need to be put in place to just kick butt and take names and make it super duper successful. So if I had a quality manager job for a certain manufacturing business, that's what I would do. First year, figuring everything out, learning, studying, growing. figuring out what the systems are, figuring out who the team members need to be. And then the second year is all implementing that, right? Implementing it, making sure everything's working smoothly, making tweaks and changes and tests to what works and what doesn't, to get a well-oiled machine. And so by the third year, everything's just smoking and scaling for growth. And that's when, once everything's smoking and going smoothly, I'm like, I start to get bored. I start to lose interest because everything that I can impact is already going at the pace I want it to. And then I start to get bored, and I start to look for, you know, other ways to change and tweak and improve things, get on the continuous improvement path. But once I hit that stage at a job, I would start to get bored and start to look for other things, other opportunities. So if I would get a promotion after, you know, about at that third year point, then I would repeat the process and it would be fine, and I would stay with that organization, which is what kept me at a couple of different companies for past my 3-year mark. Same thing with different businesses. My ex-husband and I had lots of different businesses together because I followed that same pattern. We had a business, then we would get it going, we'd do that same pattern, and then I'd start to get bored and I'd look for another business. So we would add another business, and then we'd add another one and another one, to a lot of points, to the point where I wasn't paying attention to other aspects of my life, which is what caused the stress and the sudden cardiac arrest and things. But that's a pattern. So we all have patterns that we don't even necessarily see in our lives. We just automatically are doing things, and sometimes our patterns are good for us and they're moving us in the direction we want to go. Other times they're not. My pattern kept me looking for more different instead of growing in the direction of more of the same in a certain track that I loved. And I got into a bunch of tracks that I didn't really love, and that were actually, I considered them soul sucking. Every day, there were a couple businesses we were in that I was just like, you know, 14, 16-hour days, and I'd just be like, I could feel myself just going down the drain because it was a tough industry, and the people that we were, not the people that we were serving, but the people that we had to interact with, that I had to interact with every day, weren't the kind of people I wanted to interact with, and they weren't very nice people, and that just broke my heart every single day a little bit. So we often get into this track where we don't feel like we can make a change, and then we never take the time to ask ourselves, did I actually choose this on purpose? Because most of us don't. We end up where we are by default based on the experiences that we have along the way of our life, and we just kind of roll with them, right? We don't say, hey, this is what I want in 25 years, and this is where I'm going to start, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but this is where I'm going to start, and then we keep moving toward that thing. Most of us never do that. We just go through what we've been exposed to, and we create very similar experiences. And I say we don't need a pandemic to give ourselves permission to live the lives that we're here to live, to be the messenger and the example of how everyone can live. I'm on a tirade again, not a tirade, but I'm off on a tangent. So today was actually day 429 of my Supersize Your Business sharing idioms. I got about 5 days ago, on day 424, I did 2 424s in a row over the weekend. I think it was over the weekend. It would have been on Thursday and Friday, yeah. And Thursday and Friday I was in a training all day, and that just got me a little off in terms of being able to write down and count things. So, not that it matters to anyone but my internal tracking system, but it annoys me when I get off track like that. But something, and here's where we need to listen to our intuition. Something in my brain today tripped me and said, I think that my number of days for the fun challenge and the number at the end of the idiom tracking are supposed to be the same, and they're not the same. And so then I went back through my notes, and I'm like, yep, lo and behold, on Thursday and Friday, I had both of them be day 424. Now, is that a big deal? No, but it just goes to show us that we always know when something is or isn't for us, whether we feel like we know it or not. It was just a little, boy, something seems off about this number. And then I asked myself, well, what could be off? And then I just tracked back. And this is like a really quick instantaneous thing, but it's an example of the power of actually listening to that still small voice inside of us, our intuition, that always knows what's going on, even if we consciously don't know what's going on. I mean, I did that for 5 days. I put in the wrong number and I didn't even notice until this morning, where I guess I kind of had an inkling yesterday, but I ignored it. And then today I was like, no, I feel it's stronger today. So maybe I need to ask myself what's going on. And I know that's just a little example, but if we start with little things and start noticing the little things, the bigger things that have been screaming at us, we can't ignore anymore. And we can't deny them anymore, or deny that we didn't know them anymore. Because if I look back on all the big dramas and traumas and changes and situations that I was in my life, it's not like there weren't signs that something was coming. Say I got laid off from one of my jobs, or I got fired from my job. Now, if I had been paying attention to the signs, any situation like that, any health challenge, anything, I would have known it was coming if I'd listened to that other voice, my intuition, right? If you ignore your health for 20 years, guess what? Some kind of a wake-up health call is going to come. It's going to challenge you. It's just going to. We can think that it won't, that we're so amazing and special and superhero-like that it won't, but it will. And guess what? When the planet needs a wake-up call, boom, we get a challenge like this pandemic. So that was our idiom today was get off the hook, which is why I started with that. Fun challenge today. I loved it because it was about learning something new by actually doing it. Imagine that. You're actually going to do something that you learn. And I love this one because it's one of my pet peeves about the online world and online business. There are so many people putting themselves out there as experts that have never, ever, once in their life, done the thing that they're saying that they're an expert in. Now, you'll notice during this time frame, a lot of them have become very quiet and very silent because they actually don't know what to do. And a lot of the people that they're following have become very silent and they don't know what to do. So make sure that if you're teaching people how to do something, because I guarantee no matter what, you have within you things that other people need to know, things that you can teach them. You don't need to take someone else's thing and as your own, because we all have millions of examples and so much experience that we can share with other people. And that's what we want to build on, not other people's stuff. So I love that was the activity for today. So something fun. So my granddaughter and I will find something fun to not only just learn today, but something to do. We'll find something to do and learn. Maybe we'll do something fun in the kitchen. Depends on the weather. I don't see a sunny day yet. It's early, but since I don't know what the weather's going to be like yet, we'll see. Maybe we'll go on a fun little adventure outside or something. I want to make a little treasure hunt for her because she loves treasure hunts. So I think it'd be fun to make a little treasure and make a map and do a little treasure hunt for her, maybe around the park, the local park. As things open up, it'd be a lot more fun because right now we can go to the park, we can walk through it, but we can't go buy any of the equipment or play on any of the equipment or go in the buildings. So it's a little bit mellow for our walks these days. What else is going on? Get Up and Go Challenge is going to come back probably in a week or maybe next week, because I want to really hop on this, especially as businesses are starting to open up. I want to make sure that people know if you take a systematic approach to what you're doing, it'll work out a lot better than if you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping that something happens. I took a little break during that 3-day training. Actually, I didn't take a break during the 3-day training. I took a break Saturday, and then Sunday came back and I guess I took Friday and Saturday. Sunday did the summary, and then we'll come back in again with it because it's too important. People need to know that they are 100% capable of handling whatever the world dishes out to them and face any kind of challenge or obstacle in a way that they end up better off on the other side of it than when they came into the challenge. And any kind of challenge, right? Health challenge, relationship challenge, physical challenge, job challenge, financial challenge, spiritual challenge, whatever kind of challenge we face, we go into it, and we all have a process already of how we handle challenges, but it's up to us to create a process that really serves us and works for us well. Some of us handle challenges by default, and some of the ways we handle it isn't necessarily good for us or other people, and so we want to make sure we're handling the challenges and things that world dishes out to us in ways that serve us, not in ways that harm us or other people. So that's coming back. I want to say next week, because it's got to be, I mean, there's so much going on. The world's changing so fast. It always is, but I want to make sure that I'm there to serve people. What else? I am in a read 30 books in 30 days challenge, and with my personal challenges, it is definitely a challenge for me, having to get really creative. But why I said I would do it is, number one, I love the woman that's doing it. Number two, it is teaching me and making me make the personal adjustments I need to make in my life to make my life work going further, so I can continue to serve people in the way that I want to, that I had been putting off making and resisting for no reason except for I'm stubborn and I like to resist things sometimes. So I'm doing that, as well as preparing a live digital event. I would like to say the details of it, but I don't know what they're going to be yet. But I guarantee that within 30 days, I will be doing a live digital workshop, probably a workshop. I love workshops, so that you can learn and share in the comments below what you want it to be about. Learn and grow and massively move forward in your life in the direction you want to move. But there's lots of skills and things that I can teach in a workshop, a live workshop, and that you can learn in a live workshop. You know, in a couple of hours, you can get the result that you want in something. So I want to know what that is for you. I don't care what it is for me, because I'm already doing my own things, but I want to know what it is for you, because none of us should feel like we don't have help, we don't have the resources, we don't have the skills and the abilities and the things that we need to move forward throughout this time of change and turmoil, right? But guess what? We've always had change and turmoil. We just haven't had it on a mass scale where so many of us individually, so many of us, you know, personally, as well as so many businesses have been forced to go through a massive overhaul and change. Guess what? Change isn't bad though. Change can be good. So make sure that the changes are in your favor, right? I always want to make sure that we're moving toward what we want, not toward what we don't want. That's it. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with another update on what I'm working on as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world to the online world of business. Take care. Bye.